art, music, activism. We've got a twist on local culture today on The Express. On today's show,
there's a quality to these pieces that can be appreciated by anybody.
In transition at the Surrey Art Gallery.
For the entire year, I'm only going to consume Canadian products and services.
Darren Barefoot's 1 year, 1 Canadian project.
Head over heels. Now let's try that again. That was
Jonathan Fluvog and the Light Machine.
Slow it down a little bit as well.
It's a Roman glass there. It's a couple thousand years old.
Vancouver's exotic museum. See that and more local expression. Welcome to The Express. I'm Johanna Ward at the Surrey Art Gallery for the cutting-edge new exhibit, In Transition, New Art from India. Now, before we explore this super interesting and international work, we have a story that's super close to home. Local blogger and pop culture enthusiast Darren Barefoot is going 100% CanCon for an entire year. We're talking consuming only Canadian products, services, and even media.
This guy looks like he buys Canadian, right? But in this 2010 photo, neither Darren Barefoot's hockey jersey nor his Olympic mittens were made or sourced in Canada. And that got him thinking. And what he came up with is a pop culture experiment.
For the entire year, I'm only going to consume Canadian products and services and food and, to some degree, ideas.
The project is cumulative. Darren will spend each month researching and learning about Canadian designed, sourced, and manufactured products in different categories. And by the end of the month, he'll only be buying Canadian.
So January was household goods, so that was products under your kitchen sink basically, and all the bathroom products that you consume, right? Like toothpaste and shampoo and soap and all that. A lot of the bathroom products that you use on your skin, for example, like soaps and shampoos, have tea tree oil or palm oil or coconut oil or something, none of which of course come from Canada. But I did find like detergents and some hand sanitizers and some things that the manufacturer tells me is entirely sourced in Canada.
As you might imagine, this is going to be a bit of a lifestyle adjustment for a traveling, tech-savvy blogger and media consultant like Darren.
I leave the country, as I did last week. I have to bring soap and toilet paper and shampoo and all those things that the hotel supplies with me. And I'm pretty much not going to leave the country after August 31st, because that's the end of my food month, and so then I have to be eating only Canadian food.
So what if this is going to stay?
Yeah, I would expect very little is going to stay. Even I was looking at the club soda there, and it's made in the U.S.
February's focus is clothing, and while there are many Canadian design duds out there, very few are sourced and manufactured here as well.
I'm not going to shed my entire wardrobe because that would be expensive and awkward. I'll meet with local designers and try to meet with some bigger organizations to talk about their sourcing practices. I don't know much about the clothes today, but like I'm picturing a lot of like wool sweaters and like hemp tunics. I will be good on underwear because for years I've worn Stanfield's underwear, which are manufactured in Truro, Nova Scotia.
Darren is learning as he goes, and readers of his blog 1 Year, 1 Canadian are invited to do the same.
People have been really helpful already in like providing tips and recommendations. You become like hyper aware of those aspects of your life, and that's what's happened for me already.
Look for Darren's book on the project in 2012. I'm Erin Shaw in Vancouver for The Express.
He'll be doing online giveaways of Canadian products and also posting some pretty funny photos of himself in all Canadian clothing. Now today on The Express, we're also looking at life on a more global scale. New to the Surrey Art Gallery in partnership with the Vancouver Biennale is an art exhibit that aims to change the way we think about India.
There's 7 artists in total. They're artists that are based in Mumbai and New Delhi. Exclusively. They're artists that are at the top of their craft. They're internationally recognized and been shown in crucial exhibitions around the world. So we were very excited to partner with the Vancouver Biennale and bring in these artists here to Surrey.
Giant chandeliers made out of matchsticks. Okay, explain this one to me.
Okay, well the artist Hema Upadhyay has been working with this material matchsticks for quite a while, and she's quite interested in this chandelier type structure and play between a kind of beautiful object and one that evokes a kind of passion or dangerous sort of edge as well.
So the idea like the violence of the fire that could be created if they were lit.
Yeah, the flammability, the potential danger, but also the idea of passion, I think, as well.
I think both of us really like the matchstick chandeliers. I think that was our favorite.
Yeah, in multiple copies of something like this, it's very interesting from the point of view that it says, okay, don't just look at one thing, look at many things and stand back and observe it.
The two threads explored in this particular show are a sculpture, sort of a particularly large-scale sculpture that's bold and quite dramatic in many ways, but it also has a real fine sort of sense of detail and pattern and repetition and the fragments. So it brings that together. At the same time, there's a number of works related to media, and contemporary media is really important for a new wave of artists coming out of India.
They're a grade 1, so they're basically 6 going on 7. We're always looking for experiences outside of the school for more expertise.
We're bringing in students all the time. It's a big part of our program, and we have programming devoted to them in order that they can engage with the work and create work related to the art on display.
You're supposed to trace out a picture of what you like.
And what did you trace? What do you like?
A candy cane, stars, and a tree and a bus. 2 buses.
What do you like coming to the art gallery for?
Doing art.
Without this component, I think it would have been a very different experience for them. I think especially at young ages, they really need the hands-on part of it to experience the learning.
I think this is my favorite piece, not just because it's beautiful, but also because it's rather romantic.
It is. It's a stunning piece. It's a work called Lunar Notes by Reena Kalat, who's based in Mumbai, and it's a work that incorporates bonded marble, and it's a beautiful piece. Yeah.
And you can see, I guess, it's the shape of the Taj Mahal there, but there's also a little more intimacy going on.
There is. She's incorporated names of people taken from what she calls love graffiti, which is names of people that are written in public spaces around the city.
I think it's nice to have international representation, and certainly there's a lot of Indo-Canadians here in Surrey, so I think it's a very appropriate format.
It's interesting too to look at their art and see that it is quite different than what we'd expect it to be.
I think that there's lots to get out of this show without any knowledge of what's going on in contemporary art. These artists are certainly engaged with the broader conversations going on in Europe and Asia and Latin America, but at the same time, there's a quality to these pieces that can be appreciated by anybody. They're really quite beautiful and stunning at the same time.
In Transition, new art from India runs to March 27th here at the Surrey Art Gallery, and it's presented in recognition of 2011, the Year of India in Canada. Now, right now, it's time to meet an artist from the local scene. The name Vogville is often attached to a conversation involving shoes in our city, but it doesn't have to be. That's about to change, because up next we meet a man whose name is the same, but his passion is different.
Jonathan Vogville has a passion, but don't make assumptions based on his name. This Vogville is the man behind the sound, not the shoe.
They always ask, so why didn't you go into the family business then if you're doing this? And my answer is really, the family business was all around me, and I've always been fiercely independent. So I wanted to do something on my own success level without having to rely on my dad or rely on my mom or rely on anyone.
Son of shoe designer John Vogville, Jonathan gave shoemaking a try for about a year. But when making clogs didn't pan out, he followed his dream and opened Vogville Recording.
Head over heels, with your head in the sand.
In the studio, well, I'd say he's pretty demanding, but I mean, I've learned a lot. We've all learned a lot. I'm really lucky.
Okay, so now let's try that again. That was perfect, but don't rush it. Let's slow it down a little bit as well.
He's also manager of local band The Light Machines.
I help them revamp their songs, really work their style, help them to create an image and a marketing plan, and just really be a solid entity. If I could know my name, you know, that sort of thing.
Big names have recorded here. Matthew Good, Chaos, but you'll never hear him name drop.
It's really hard to actually explain to a lot of people. They go, what do you mean you're not toting the names? Are you nuts? And I think it stems from having a famous dad and having a famous mom as well. I don't feel that the names validate you. I feel like the good work you do validates you.
His focus has now shifted on the local scene.
But I say go and take your hose, I won't stop you. I mean, we were kind of loosey-goosey before, but he's brought us together, and he's the glue to the band, and he's given us so much knowledge about the music industry and how to perform, how to record.
Perfect! Sounded really good.
He hopes to bring local music out in an upcoming event called Day and Night, an event to get bands like the Light Machines more exposure. And at the end of every session, this Fluvog feels good about his contribution to the music community.
The studio is not the star. The client's the star. When people come to the studio, they're always saying, you know, it's so vibey and homey, and it's just a great environment. We feel like we can make it our own. And then you hear the work that comes out of it getting recognized. It's a really good feeling.
She don't.
In Port Coquitlam, I'm Melanie Pineda for The Express.
The Light Machines will be performing as part of Vogville's Day and Night Festival on February 19th at the Vancouver Alpine Club. You can get more information at Jonathan's website. And you're watching The Express, and we have more from the Surrey Art Gallery and the local celebrity scene coming up. After the break, Alexander Lamb's East Van Exotic Museum.
The carvings and artifacts from really all over the world.
The Variety Club's Rising Star Competition. You're watching local TV on The Express.
I just think you're on the right track. I think you're fabulous.
Catching teardrops.